Bahrain, 55.
You're looking bright and nice today.
Thank you. You like the shirt?
Lovely. It's
Good.
nice. I've always believed it takes two to make everything in life, and here we are with you again, the two of us, with another edition of Take Two.
This week I'm off to meet a group of people whose hobby is making contact with people in other countries, in other words, the Amateur Radio Association. And you?
And I'm taking you to see some very special kind of people, students that is.
So stay with us.
Hope you'll enjoy it.
Amateur radio, it seems, is alive and well in Bahrain, as it is in many other countries throughout the world. It's a hobby which attracts those who find it interesting and satisfying to get into contact with people from different countries and different cultures. Three men in particular laid the foundations for the modern radio communication system we know today. It was in 1846 that James Maxwell, an Englishman, pioneered the theoretical verification of the presence of radio waves. 42 years later, Heinrich Hertz, a German, experimentally demonstrated the presence of such waves. But it was left to an Italian, Marconi, to invent the two-way wireless communication system. In essence, Marconi was an amateur, what today we call a ham. And as more and more people began to transmit radio waves on whatever frequency they chose, so controls had to be introduced to restrict this, and today a license must be obtained before anyone can begin transmitting. The Amateur Radio Association of Bahrain may be small in numbers, but it's a very active group. Its headquarters is here in Mina Salman, and I asked the group's chairman, Sheridan Street, to tell me when the association was first formed.
The association was formed in 1971.
Sheridan also told me how many members there are in Bahrain and who issues the licenses.
The membership varies from time to time with the number of people on the island, and currently there's about 42 licensed amateurs. The present body responsible for issuing licenses is the Bahrain Frequency and Licensing Committee.
But what equipment does one need to become a radio ham, and how expensive is it? Ian Cable is the association's secretary.
No, you don't need a great deal of equipment. A shortwave receiver that covers the amateur bands, and a fairly simple shortwave transmitter, which need only be usable in the Morse code mode. That will suffice. And we're talking here of perhaps a total investment for the very simplest of equipment, a small receiver and a low power transmitter together, which will set you back about 60 dinars. Going up from that, of course, you can have something similar to what we have here. We have equipment that we're using here. We're talking of an investment of the order of about 2,000 dinars. You basically make your choice according to what the budget can stand.
I also asked Ian how many radio stations there are around the world.
Well, the latest information that I recollect seeing came out of the Japanese Amateur Radio League in Japan. They recently issued a publication which indicated a worldwide total of some 1.6 million amateurs.
I then wanted to know how radio hams got in touch with one another.
Well, the general method of contacting another station is to listen around on the band, the particular frequency at the right time of day, and then put out a general call. It's called a CQ. This is a general invitation for anybody listening to your transmission that you would like to contact them.
And were records kept of every call?
Yes, it's a requirement of the license, very strict condition that a record be kept of the time, the frequency, the call of the person you've spoken to, the country, and you record interesting points about the conversation, the name and his location, the weather, and all things of general interest. You exchange information of a general nature about equipment, aerial conditions, and day-to-day experiences.
Malcolm Livingston is another enthusiastic radio ham. Does he hold regular
Quite as organised as that with me, Alan. What I do, I switch the rig on, tune around the bands, see if I can hear anyone calling the well-known phrase CQ. CQ is the call that people put out when they wish to contact another station. Having skeds can be a bit difficult because of weather conditions and radio propagation conditions. So it doesn't always follow that you can hold regular conversations.
And are there any rules about what may or may not be discussed on air?
There are some basic rules, Alan, of course. One has to have rules. And a basic rule, of course, is one doesn't speak politics. That's pretty basic and obvious.
Dia El-Sharougi is the association's treasurer. Although he often makes use of the club's equipment, he does most of his hamming from his house here in Isar town. I asked him who he had been speaking to that day.
This afternoon I was talking to a friend in Austria and another person just northwest of London.
I also wanted to know if English was the usual language used by radio hams.
English is the predominant language used on the radio, but Arabic is also spoken, and many other European languages and local languages as well. Alpha 9 to Delta Quebec, A9 to DQ.
So what do local hams most enjoy about their hobby?
Talking to other amateurs in other countries, particularly from Bahrain. It enjoys a limited membership, and it is very well sought after, the special call sign, the A9. Talking to Pacific Islands is of great interest, to Europe, but I think I like talking to the Pacific because, like Bahrain, there's not many other people there, and it's a rare occasion.
Well, I think it's the ability to be able to talk to different parts of the world, to people in different walks of life. It's a bit like armchair travelling, if you like, without all the hassle of airports and luggage going missing. You do it all from the comfort of your own home.
Well, I think it's been spoken by the other amateurs in the previous interviews, and I guess it's the freedom to roam around the world just with a dial.
It's to get the friends from all the world.
The thing I enjoy about ham radio is talking to other people all over the world with different backgrounds, and we talk about various activities.
And why do they think that so few women take up the hobby?
Yes, well, there are a number of women that take it up. I'm not sure, perhaps it wouldn't go well, the husband and wife both sharing the same rig together.
I really don't know. I suppose that they're not attracted to it, possibly because it tends to be somewhat technical in nature. I personally know of some women who have taken it up as a hobby, but of course you're perfectly correct. There are not very many of them who seem to enjoy amateur radio.
Well, I think they get fed up of seeing the old man playing about with radios. I think that disturbs them a little bit.
I think women find using the telephone a lot easier than talking on the radio.
Amateur radio has recently entered the satellite age, with license holders in the United States, the Soviet Union, Japan, and in many European countries now able to make contact through satellites. I like to think of radio hams as a kind of United Nations of the air. They're ordinary people, and yet they're ambassadors of peace, building bridges and creating friendship around the world.
Stay tuned with us. Come along and see what we have for you next week on 55.
It's doing 150 or better. It's coming in, believe it or not. Help Miss Daniels off.
Tomorrow night's feature film is The Magnificent Obsession, starring Jane Wyman and Rock Hudson.
Mr. Merrick, you keep this engine tuned. That's all I want from you.
What's the matter with him? Hasn't he got any brains?
He doesn't have to. He's got $4 million.
Monday sees the start of a new mini-series, If Tomorrow Comes. Based on Sidney Sheldon's bestseller, it stars David Keith and Madeline Smith.
The institute I am at today is very special in what it has to offer to its students. It teaches them and prepares them for higher studies. It qualifies them for work and even displays the work, highlighting their role in the society. It takes care of them and gives them guidance. And most of all, it trains them to move freely. The 180 both male and female students are even more special. They're special for the simple reason that they can never see their teachers, and some of the teachers can never see them. Now, try to understand me. I do not want your sympathy, nor pity. All I want you to do is come along with me and see the rather difficult and humane task undertaken by the An-Noor Institute for the Blind. students at the Institute can join the academic section, which consists of 3 main stages. There's the nursery stage, and there's the primary stage, and there's the intermediate. Those children are from the nursery stage, as you see. And this stage lasts between 2 to 3 years, depending on their ages. As to the primary stage, it lasts for 6 years, and the intermediate stage lasts for 3 years. The students are given very special attention, and there isn't more than 7 students in each class. And the curriculum is laid by the Ministry of Education.
Today we are going to read about a girl who was taken to an imaginary planet called Kalin. This girl was taken by a lady who looks like her mother. Now some students will read. Yes, Sana, please could you begin?
The red seeds of Kalin. Iltid and Lulwa flew over all Kalin. The land they saw below them was beautiful. There were lakes and rivers, green forests and mountains. Iltid showed her cities of glass and concrete, but Lulwa was puzzled.
Kalin is beautiful, she said, but why have you brought me here? We have been watching your planet for many years, said Iltid. The people who live on Earth are hungry, but we can help you. I want to give you something.
Iltid picked up a small plastic box and gave it to Lulwa. Open it, she said. Lulwa opened the box. Inside there were 10 small red seeds.
This seems to be a wonderful wall magazine, but unfortunately I cannot read it because it is written in Braille. Now the students here at the Institute, they can also read ordinary scripts from magazines only if they learn to use an instrument called the opticon. First come along with me, let us see how they write and read Braille, and then we will see the opticon machine. To write Braille, the students use a machine called Parkin's machine. Marhaba, Niyaz. Marhaba. Let me show you the machine, how it works. It's
السواحل الجميلة والخيرات الكثيرة. أحب بلادي كثيرا. عاشت بلادي.
You just seen Perkins machine, what's used for Braille manual, and now I explain for you optical machine.
this machine especially for blind persons to able them about the reading, no braille reading, but normal reading. This machine consists of 3 parts. This is opticon, and this is a charge, and this is a visual display. Opticon, there is vibrations like this. You see on the visual display vibrations, and this charge, to charge it, if we not use opticon like 1 month, 2 months. And this is a camera, work on the book to appear every letter on the visual display. And now I read for you book of Al-Ayyam for Dr. Taha Hussein. This is ألف A in Arabic يعني. أقام في القاهرة أسبوعين أو أكثر من أسبوعين. فصلة كما in Arabic. لا يعرف من أمره إلا أنه ترك الريف وانتقل إلى العاصمة ليطيل فيها المقام طالبا للعلم، مختلفا إلى مجالس الدرس في الأزهر، وإلا أنه يقضي يومه في أحد هذه الأطوار الثلاثة التي يتخيلها ولا يحققها. Full stop.
I don't think any institute or school would do without a library. There is of course a library here, but there are 2 kinds of library. A normal library, which is written in Braille, and a talking library. All books you can think of, English, Arabic, stories, are recorded on a special tape. Awatif, can you show us how the talking library works? So we insert it inside and then save.
Work. Last spring, George met Morris in the street. I'm working with Albert, Morris said. I answered.
I think it was both interesting to see the opticon and the talking library, but what is more interesting is to see the Quran, our holy book, written in Braille. And Nasser will read us a few verses from the Quran. تفضل ناصر.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم صاد. كتاب أنزل إليك فليكن في صدرك حرج فلا يكن في صدرك حرج منه لتنذر به وذكرى للمؤمنين. صدق الله العظيم.
The Institute carried out a pilot experiment on high school blind students by allowing them to mix with their fellow mates who are not blind. How successful was the experiment?
The idea was that we have to integrate the blind with sighted people. So we think about that a lot, that if we start that in the university, it will be too difficult for them. So we start step by step by joining them with the sighted school in secondary school. And in this school, we also give them all the books, I mean the curriculum all written by Braille, and we give them typewriters in Braille. We give them cassette to record the lessons during the day, and we give them also sometimes special classes, afternoons for arithmetic, for example, or language. So that was very good, and we started that in 19
to sew woolen clothes, make rattan furniture, make brushes, and even leather. You're mostly welcome to come and visit the premises here at Muharraq, where you can see their work displayed in a shop for sale.
Play, hop. غير الاتجاه هوب شين بسرعة بسرعة هوب
I've always wondered, is there an art behind using the cane? What are the basics? The mobility training teacher will tell us more about it.
Yes, of course, the student should be totally blind because he doesn't know anything, he doesn't see anything. So we show him how to use the cane. First of all, the cane should be suitable for his size. It mustn't be long and mustn't be very short. So, and when he uses the cane, the cane should be opposite of his steps. If the cane goes right side, so his foot should go left side. So because the cane should first the cane show him the place, the area, then he moves his leg. This is better for him to be safe for the student. If there is something, there is a hole or big hole in front of him, the cane shows him first. So the cane protects him to, for example, to fall in that cane or anything.
In Al-Noor Institute, we learn the blind students music by two roads, braille music and playing on the instruments. The kinds which the students play on it, percussion instruments, wooden instruments, and string instruments. And now we listen to a musical piece from my composition.
Thank you very much for giving me this chance to speak about the hostel. Because I lodge in this hostel, and it's very good. And because there are students whose age is ranging between 6 and 50, we can't possibly mix them together in one hostel. And there are boys and girls. There are 4 hostels. The Gulf Hostel, it's for boys, and the switchboard hostel for switchboard students, and the girls' hostel, and another hostel for children. And the students are very happy in this hostel. Also food is provided, clothes, many things are provided for their needs. And in the afternoon they have chances to spend their leisure time. They have several activities. They can go to music classes to get ready for parties. They play music. They spend a very good time. They have PE classes and some classes for language and mathematics. And sometimes students they go shopping once a week.
Puis je suis revenu à Bahreïn et maintenant je suis instituteur à l'Institut des jeunes aveugles à Bahreïn. Je donne aux élèves comme matière instruction religieuse et histoire et géographie avec les communications internationales. On donne aux élèves les numéros des pays avec les numéros des régions.
The students learn to use 3 kinds of operators: an automatic, manual, and a computerized one. This is an automatic one. What really happens is the telephone rings, which you will hear in a minute. An indicator goes up, which indicates to the student that there is a line, and he answers.
مع هذه النور صباح الخير. مرحبا. حاضر، خليك معايا. اثنين وثلاثين معك مكالمة لو سمحت.
And naturally, there must be admission rules to allow the blind students to join the Noor Institute for the Blind.
The student first should be blind or partially sighted, without having any other disability. They should submit a medical certificate from Ministry of Health proving these conditions. They should be in age from 6 to 20 in academic sections, in rehabilitation centers, for example, Rattan workshop, or rather we can accept from 20 to 50, but in switchboard courses from 18 to 40, and we can accept all the nationalities. For example, now in the school there are 13 nationalities. They are from Saudi Arabia, from Oman, from Emirates, from Qatar, from Jordan, from Palestine, Somali, Sudan, Egypt, South Yemen. They are from also Pakistan and Bangladesh and Bahrain, of course. So everything here given free of charge. There is hostel, there is pocket money also given to the student. So the school is open for every blind without any other special nationality, for all nationalities. I will have a message for the people in the society. Please give the blind chance to work as a sighted people, because unfortunately some of them did not accept that the blind can be in the work as same as the sighted ones. We are as the rehabilitation center. I'm not asking for them to give a chance for unqualified blind. But we are training them for special jobs, so please give them the chance. Or if they have special jobs, they want us to train the blind on it, we can come there, study the work, and make the work easy to be done by the blind. So please give the blind chance and see how their work will be very successful. I think somebody in Bahrain seen already the blind boys and girls, which is already working in the switchboard operators, in the ministries, in the companies, and everywhere. Because there are 16 of them now working in Bahrain. And in this section, it graduated about 150, and they are working in all Gulf countries.
Hi, Lena, how was your visit?
It's fine. You know, I'm thinking after all this care, training, and education, the blind students will be able to cope in the society as normal people, hopefully, when they go out.
I'm sure that's the aim of the Institute here.
I hope so, especially if the people will let them do so.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's edition of Take Two. Don't forget, join us again next Wednesday evening on...
It's Take Two. Goodbye.
Good night.